Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be me doing a flip through of my 2023 Hobonichi Cousin. This is going to be going through all of the monthly, the weekly, and the daily spreads just to give an idea of kind of what I have done within my Hobonichi Cousin for 2023. So if you would be interested to see how I used my cousin this last year and maybe get some ideas of how you could use your Hobonichi going into 2024, then go ahead and keep watching. So we are going to probably not talk a lot about the spreads, and hopefully this will just be a quick glance of all of the different spreads that I have and what I have done. So this first cover is this is actually some tracing paper that I printed because I did not have vellum at my house at the time. So I have this that I just use for decoration. We have some stickers. This is my year at a glance. If you have not seen any of my videos, I use the year at a glance as a habit tracker and a mood tracker. We do have this folder or this little flap over January because I changed the way I was doing my habits in January going into February. January, I tried to use like a dot marker, but I did not like the way that that looked. So after January, that was covered up and it was basically pretended like it never happened. And from then on out, we have my habits, and then we have my mood. At the top was my sub count, pages read, and that was pretty much how I used this year at a glance page going forward the entire 2023. Moving into my monthly spreads, these I use primarily as a weather and a temperature tracker. I'm newish to the local area of northern Alabama. I moved here from Georgia, and so I wanted to get an idea of all of the temperatures and the like highs and lows in my local area, just because I was curious to see, going from my old location I lived at to my new city, kind of what the weather was like, and just to give me an idea looking back in 2024, if I wanted to go back to look and see what August of 2023 had, I would be able to use as a comparison of kind of how the weather went in my area. So I really didn't have that much else in here. I did have some like fall breaks, birthdays, that type of thing that I put down when I first got my 2023 Hobonichi. I immediately started writing into it, and that was what I put down in my Hobonichi with all the birthdays and holidays. But then I didn't use it for anything else. So that was my monthly spreads, and then we're gonna go into my weekly spreads. My weekly spreads are pretty much the same throughout the entire year. So I use my Hobonichi as a functional planner. So I like to see the kind of what I do during the day, like my work hours, what I did after work, kind of actually using the timeline that's on these vertical days, and kind of track exactly where I'm at, what I'm doing, and all that kind of stuff. So I use it as functionally. And the top part is my work and personal life, and then the very bottom is the very beginning of the year. You'll see the very bottom is my food tracker, and that was just because I was trying to get some blood work and medical things under control. And once I started annotating what I was eating for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, it seemed to help me get onto the right path of my health issues. So that was down here. And then I also had from like 9 until about 12 is my reading. That's when I do the bulk of my reading. So I would write down what I read, where I was in that book, some thoughts about the book if I had them. And that's the overarching look of most of my weekly's pages. I also did track my sleep, and I started it at 9 hours going down to 4, and then I increased it to 10 hours because there were instances like in this week where I did sleep more than 9 hours. So I expanded it to 10 later on in the year. And then on the other thing that I had on my sidebar is my workouts. I did have some to-dos every once in a while, but for the most part, it was sleep and workout were the main things that I would track on these weekly spreads. And I did the majority of my spreads all were minimalistic stickers. I did use Coffee Monster Co., like not this one, On this page, I did use Coffee Monster Co. sticker kits, and I used the stickers kind of sparingly. I did not have a lot of stickers throughout the week. And then there were instances where I would do my own drawing, like this week was using colored pencils, and I used that to decorate. But for the most part, they were minimalistic stickers. I used stickers to offset kind of what was done, so I could look on here and I can see that I read something, and I can see I started reading Throne of Glass. When I was reading here and I felt not great here, I had a face palm moment here, so I used the stickers to offset kind of what was happening during that day, so I did not have to read all of my words that I have on the page. So that's kind of how this planner went. So this is an instance where I had like sleep, my to-dos, and then I had some highlights down here. So if you're trying to figure out how to use your sidebar, that would be a good idea, in addition to the to-do list that I do every once in a while. In this week, I actually went to the beach, so I was not working, and I wanted to have something to document my week trip. So while I was on vacation, I took my Canon Ivy, which is a little small printer, which I absolutely love. It's my go-to thing that I've been using throughout the entire 2023, and I will be using it going into 2024. But I use this to print out some pictures of my visits, so that way I could have it during the week, so I could show exactly what I did, or not exactly, but what I did during that week while I was on vacation. This week was 4th of July. I used some stencils and some pens to kind of decorate for that week. I didn't really have, this was another like sticker kit. Again, it's pretty much the same. I pretty much filtered within the 2023 year using either Coffee Monster Co. stickers. This is a Sterling ink sticker kit that I had. I no longer get Sterling ink because I was getting too many stickers and I just was not using them. So I've since kind of suspended my sticker kit for Sterling ink, but those were my two main companies that I ended up using stickers for. I also have my own sticker shop on Etsy, which these were stickers from my shop that I would also use within all of my spreads. But those were the main things that I used. This week I had a bunch of stickers that I bought off of Temu that I just kind of decorated with. This was again some of the Coffee Monsters Co. I started the subscription kit with her. That's on a quarterly basis. So those were all sticker kits from that shop. As you can see, I also stopped doing the food at the bottom. And that was just because I kind of got my medical situation under control and decided I did not want that. This week, I also was using each day was a different colored pen, gel pen. So if you have a lot of pens that you want to use, that is another way that you would be able to kind of decorate a little bit of using different colored pens. This week was a stamp. I used a lot of the Coffee Monster Co. stamps that I got as decorations instead of stickers. This was a fall break. Like I said, a lot of these are the same layouts. This was more of a minimalistic layout, so I only had like 6 or 7 stickers that I used for the entire week. It was pretty much it was just Tombow marker and a pen that I used for this entire week. And then I went back to some more sticker kits that I got from Coffee Monsters Co. These were stickers that I made myself because this was a Fourth Wing week, because Iron Flame, the second book in the Fourth Wing series, got released. And so this was me decorating with some dragons because that book has a bunch of dragons in it. So that was what the theme was for that week. And then we have another vacation. This was during Thanksgiving. I didn't have a lot of pictures, but I did have this picture down here that I tried to document what I did. And then we're going into December. And as you can see, pretty much everything, my week, like I said, stays the same. I work, I have appointments. I don't really have a lot of things that I changed. This was the only spread that I had a little bit of differences on. So as you can see here, I went from a spread where I had, actually this week as well, these last 2 weeks of December, It went from a functional planning style to I broke out the last 2 weeks of December because I was not working. I was on vacation. I had the top part were like overarching notes for that day. This like second little piece here were the appointments, because a lot of my appointments got canceled just because everyone was on vacation and businesses were closed. And then this piece down here was all of my to-do list. And then I had my reading at the very, very bottom. And then I had this over on the side instead of working out, because I stopped working out toward the end of the year. I ended up having the videos that I wanted to record. So those are like my to-do list. And that's what I ended up doing on the last week as well. And that's going to take me through all of the monthly pages. I do have this page where at the very beginning of the year, I documented like what my weight was, what my bank account was, you know, some just generic notes. And I have gone back and updated that with the end of the year stuff. So we have that. So now we're going to go into the daily spreads, and I am super proud because the entire time of 2023, I have done some kind of journal entry on every single day throughout the entire year. And so I've never been a journaler. This was the first year that I even attempted it, and I'm super proud that I was able to have something written down. And in some instances, I had a full page of stuff that I wrote down. I did like, I do in the weekly spreads, I use stickers to kind of offset what happened during that day, in addition to my Canon Ivy. So I would put pictures down of kind of, you know, documenting what happened during that day. And so I have all of this that I ended up doing. If you would like to see any like specifics on all of this stuff, I have done a monthly wrap up every single month of 2023. I have them on my channel. So if you would be interested to see any of the spreads or some notes, or if you see a picture in my daily pages that you wanted to, you know, it looked interesting or you wanted more information on, I probably have it documented in one of my end of the month wrap ups. So we have all of this, and I used washies. I used, like I said, stickers just for decorations, and my Canon Ivy, that was kind of my main thing that I used for a lot of my pictures. And within the Hobonichi Cousin, I either used a fountain pen, which I found toward the very end of the year. I found a fountain pen I actually really do enjoy, or I had my Muji pen, or I had a Jet Stream. That was kind of the main pens that I ended up using for almost the entire year. And that worked really well with my writing style, with kind of what I wanted my pens or my paper and my words to look like. And so that was something that I liked, or that's what I had in all of these pages. So like I said, I did a lot of journaling. I'm super excited to go back and in 2024 look back into some of my days just to see, you know, what I was doing that day a year ago. So like I had on here, March the 25th, there was a tornado warning. And that same day, we also had flying the kite because it was super windy because of the tornado warning. So it's going to be interesting going back and looking at all of the stuff that happened within 2023. So, and then I also liked during these daily pages, I had a lot of washi that I needed to use up, like a lot of this washi that you're seeing. If it's not Coffee Monsters Co. washi, they were old washi that I had bought off of Amazon, and this was like a perfect way to go through all of it, use up some washi while also throwing some decorations onto my pages. So it gave it a little bit of something extra in my daily pages. So I also use my main page for the most part every month as a TBR. So I will list out all of the books that I want to read during that month, and I would check off whenever I had read that book. Sometimes I would put down the star rating. Sometimes it would be, you know, something else in addition to my TBR. But for the most part, that main page sat at a TBR only type page. I have pen swatches. So whenever I went on like Amazon, or if I bought new fountain pen ink or something like that, I would swatch it here so that way I would have it. So I would also have it in the back, but this was a good way for me to kind of fill up the page. And so it was always nice. And then we also have me doing countdowns for like when I went on vacation, the beach trip, Thanksgiving vacation. And then the entire time I was at the beach, I took my Canon Ivy and I would put down all of my pictures of some of the things that happened, in addition to some overall thoughts on that particular day. So had all of this. A lot of my pictures, as you can see, are pictures with my kids and things that, you know, they did, because I want to be able to go back and look at pictures, because I remember when I was a kid. I have a ton of pictures from when I was little, but they're all loose and they get lost and I don't know what picture happened when. And this way, at least I have something that says this was a picture that was done July 6th of 2023, and I get a little bit of idea of what was happening behind that picture. And so it's just a way for me to document, to go back. My youngest loves going back through this journal and just going through the year and looking at all of the pictures and all of the things that she did. And it's just it's a really good memory keeping. So this is journal pages, just journaling what I feel and, you know, what's going on, but it's also a memory keeper for all of my kids. And they're like, this is their birthday. This was my youngest birthday. She was all about Barbies that year. So I got to do that, and I'll be able to refer back to it and see that later on. We have first day of school. We have my first grader and my eighth grader. So I can always refer back to this to see what they look like when, you know, they were going into first and eighth grade. First day of gymnastics classes. Reading a book. Like this was Fourth Wing when it came out. I had to have a picture of me or reading that book. So this was just really nice thing to go back and look at after the fact. We have all of the washies that I got, like on my washi order. I have swatches of washies, and I don't know. When I first bought this book, I was very nervous on how I was going to fill up these daily pages, because like I said, I was not a journaler, so it wasn't like I had been used to writing a page a day, and filling up a full page just seemed very difficult for me to do. But as the year went on, you know, I sometimes only had a month or like a little paragraph of what happened during that day. And then I definitely was able to use pictures to offset the extra space. And so I definitely found ways to fill up the page without feeling like I bought a book that was not used. Because that was one of my fears at the beginning of the year, was that I would buy this big planner worth $60 and I would only use, you know, a very small handful of pages, and all of the daily pages back here and all the extra space would not be used. So, I mean, even like this day, I only wrote, 5 lines, but, you know, it's a Sunday, and I know Sunday is a day of, you know, staying home and cleaning. So there's really not a lot to document when you're just staying home and cleaning all day. But it was something that I filled in, so I knew what I was doing that day, and if I did not document anything that day, I knew why. And I still count that as journaling. Even if I wrote down, I'm sick, I'm just gonna take a nap all day, at least I had something that documented that day and why I didn't have that much to write about. Because obviously if I'm sick, I'm not gonna want to write anything. So I definitely am loving and proud of how I used this planner and how much I was able to put into it. And just now going back and just looking at these pictures now, I remember so much of what happened during the year. Whereas if I did not have this, you know, I might remember, you know, Halloween, but I might not remember who my daughter, you know, what they did for Halloween, like what they got decorated as or dressed up as. I might not be able to remember that, but this allows me to see what I did. Like this, I was sitting in my car for an hour and a half reading a book while my daughter was in a doctor's appointment. We had Cabela pictures, you know, it's just, I get so much out of it, and I'm so glad I decided to take the jump and buy a Hobonichi Cousin in 2023, and all the stuff that I was able to get done in this book. It's just like this day I wrote literally one sentence: super excited to start vacation and head to the farm. And I used down here at the bottom to pack my list, or to do like a packing list of everything I wanted to bring with me on my vacation on the next day. So you know, I left for the farm on Monday. It was a 5-hour trip, went to lunch at Buc-ee's in Gatlinburg, and then we had pictures of my daughter petting the horse and being in front of the donkeys. And it's just, I definitely am enjoying the Hobonichi, and I am definitely going to be excited to see what my 2024 Hobonichi looks like, and kind of go back at the end of next year, at the end of 2024, and maybe I'll do a flip through of my 2023 just to remember everything that happened, because memories start to fade, days kind of bleed together, and you might not remember what you did and where you came from and where, you know, what happened without having something listing it. As you can see at the end of December, once I started my vacation, there really wasn't a whole lot for me to write because I stayed at home. I didn't have work. Like, this is lazy day at home. Zoe's first morning hunt. Got scared walking in the woods before dawn and passed out while they were in the hunting blind. So it's good to go back and look and see all of these pages. And then we have goodbye to 2023. This is what I had for the last day of December. I kind of did a recap over here of everything, like important things that happened during the year. And this also is going to help me if I want to try to remember something important, like Zoe's first hunting trip. I can go to this page because I know that was a super important thing. And maybe I'll be able to go back and look at, you know, what they happened. I guess she had her first hunt in January, but in the picture that we just saw, that was her first like early morning hunt. She went hunting with my husband back in January, but that was, you know, that was her first morning hunt. But I know that was in January. I bought my new Sony camera in May. This channel hit 1,000 subs in May as well. So this kind of is an overarching look of all the important things that happened within 2023, and then we'll really quickly kind of go through the last few pages of this Hobonichi Cousin if you would be interested for ideas of how to use yours. I had a pen swatch at the back of mine. I have since decided to change that, and I have all my swatches as a separate book, so that way I don't have to re-swatch at the beginning of every year. But I have pen swatches. This is fountain pen swatches. I really didn't use originally I was going to use this as my monthly favorites. Obviously I only did a handful of them and then I stopped. We did the top 100 I used as my reading challenge. I only wanted to do 82 books, and then I ended up doing, for the entire year, I read 109 books total for all of 2023. And then we didn't have anything for my favorite things. I did start a 365-day check off, and I got to day 114, and then I gave up. So I never used that. And then we have just a little sticky note for some stuff, and then I have some cards back here of birthday and Mother's Day cards. So that is everything that I have in 2023. One of the things that I was concerned about with this Hobonichi Cousin is the thickness of it. But now that I have done my flip through, I did end up buying a while ago some of this extra cord, or whatever you want to call this. This is for traveler's notebooks to help do like expanding the notebooks if you need more of these. I don't even know what you call these. My brain is not wanting to function, but I have these. And so what I was planning on doing, just so that way this book can sit a little bit better on my bookshelf, but I was going to put this like this, just that way it has a way of keeping closed. And that is how I'm going to store my 2023 Hobonichi Cousin. So with that, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for everybody who has subscribed to my channel in 2023. Thank you for those who have been along with me for all of 2023. I greatly appreciate it. If you are not a subscriber, please make sure you subscribe. I'm also doing a 2024 Hobonichi Cousin, so I'm going to be doing weekly plan with me's, I'm going to be doing monthly flip throughs, and other things tied to the Hobonichi Cousin. I am also using the Common Planner, which is similar to the Hobonichi Weeks, and I plan on doing some plan with me's in that and other things with the Common Planner. So if you'd be interested in Common Planner content, then definitely make sure you subscribe as well. And with that, I want to thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in my next video, and I hope everyone has an excellent 2024. Bye.